I regret that I probably, with WWE and with Vince, because he is WWE, that I probably should have been a little bit more politically correct. And a couple of times when I'd get pissed off, and a couple of times I walked out.
Right.
No notice, no nothing, just walk out. And doing something like that makes the person, if you walked out on your soulmate or your wife or your family forgives you a lot faster than a lot of people. But if you just up and got pissed off one day and walked out and you never told them why, but then you humbly came back and you got pissed off and did it again, they never really knew why, then they start to lose trust in you. Mm-hmm. And losing trust in someone is a big, big deal. And Vince and WWE lost trust in me. And when you can't trust someone, you can't have them around anymore. They're not welcome back anymore. And that's one of the things I wished at the times when I would get pissed off that I would have said, do you have a minute and let's get it fixed and let's work on it. But sometimes I felt like the forces to be around all had the dagger out. And no matter what we might have gotten worked out, the knives were still coming. Because it was extremely vicious there at one point. It was extremely vicious.
Was one of these times when they wanted to give the Intercontinental title to the Macho Man?
That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Was that the first time you walked out?
No, I had left Montreal once and just Pat Patterson said to me in Montreal, because he was there, he said, he sat down beside me. Pat's very smooth, and back then I didn't trust anybody. Pat's become, as far as I'm concerned, a very nice guy, as honest as he could be at that point in time, being the position he had, and been around the business a long time, and has earned respect, and I give him that. And he sat down beside me. He's very smart, very intelligent, and said, I can just see one night on TV that someone like, and he threw the name out, Ravishing Rick Rude. Ravishing Rick Rude's up in the ring, and you're over doing commentary, and you throw the headset down and say, you just can't take this anymore, and you get up there and you jump on, bing, 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 and we switch you baby face, and looks like I'm getting my notice, because it hit me the wrong way. Now, it just rubbed me the wrong way.
Was this a plan, or was he just talking?
Well, that's where I fucked up, because I don't know. Was he just throwing something out there to see how I would react to it, or was it really going to be a plan? Or if I'd have said, yeah, that'd be great, probably the next week on TV it might have happened. I don't know. But I just knew that this babyface thing for me, I knew I couldn't make it happen. And I felt like if they were going to do that to me, then they're really trying to fuck me.
But you didn't know.
No, I didn't know. And
is that paranoia?
Yeah. Paranoia sets deep. Into your mind it will creep.
Wow.
What was the name of that song? I don't know who did that many years ago. It's about smoking marijuana or something. But I was totally straight when that happened. We were in the locker room. There was no alcohol or drug induced of anything.
So you just went home?
I got on a plane the next morning, changed my ticket, because Jimmy was not with me. He was in another town with someone. And changed the ticket, and I boarded the plane. Sat down, fuck the next person that comes on. I'm sitting there, it's fucking Hogan. And he's looking at me like, he said, hey, brother, what are you doing on the flight? I said, fuck, I'm heading home. So I told him that I was heading home. So I flew home, and then the phone rings, and it's Vince. What am I doing at home? And
I was going to ask, Vince was the first one to reach out to you?
Yeah. And then I told him, and I said, this ain't going to happen. This is bullshit. And he said, why in the world would you just up and leave? And so there again, I should have waited until they wanted to do this, or there was really going to be a plan, before I overreacted.
Right.
I totally, absolutely overreacted.
Were you dead set against the babyface because you knew deep down it wouldn't work?
Yes, I just knew it could. I knew I couldn't do it.
Okay.
I just knew it would not work. I knew it would be the death of me.
Right.
And I had worked for so many years to try to play on that main stage, and for it to be swept away now in the stroke of a pen.
But again, you weren't quite sure that was...
No.
Right.
No, I wasn't.
That's fascinating.
So I took a powder, I left, and then I took a day off. He gave me a day off, or I think I might have, had the day off, and then I came back, and everything was hunky-dory, and then...
You weren't called in the office, or
No, it was, we settled it on the phone, and
there was no reprimand?
No, we're not going to do that. No, you're a great heel. Vince he's rubbing my ass. He's greasing me up. He's getting ready to put the Steely Dan to me. Right. So, I knew that.
Right.
Fuck. I've been around long enough to know when I'm going to get fucked, and I know it's coming soon.
Right.
So, but anyway, I was always had that paranoia about that, because, like I said, this circle around these little lieutenants that they had were such asshole backstabbing pricks that they were just looking for dirt on someone, and when they want to get dirt on you, they can find it.
Right.
Because I'm not, as I said, I'm not a saint. I'll probably do something that they didn't like, and or even if you didn't do anything, they're going to go tell Vince anyway, and then you have no recourse, and that's what always pissed me off. And in the very beginning, I thought my deal with Vince was, and I always told him, I said, listen, if any of the Stooges say something about me, or tell on me, or tell something on me to you, at least give me the opportunity to defend myself. And he agreed to that. But then, does he ever call you in and say, now listen, one of the agents said you did this or that? And it's like, you never know what they're saying about you in the agent meeting, that they're stabbing you in the back and making Vince believe something that's going on that's really not going on, because they got a hard on for you.
Right. Was that the culture in the locker room at that time with everybody?
It was, yes. It was getting that way with a lot of people.
Didn't that cause a lot of contention in the locker room?
It caused a lot. It caused fights.
Sure.
It caused a lot of shit going on. And
did the office know this?
Well, I don't know if they were instigating it or what.
So they could have been behind
it could have been. It could have been coming from the top. I don't know. You'll never find out. They're never going to say unless. God forbid Strongbow can come from wherever he's at, heaven or hell, and say what was going on, or Jack Lanza sit down and give you a truthful, honest what was going on, or Tony Gurria, one of the guys that was there doing it, or for Pat to sit down and say, but they're never going to say.
Maybe they thought if everybody wasn't friends and wasn't colluding together, then they could never rise up against them.
I say, like I said, you divide and conquer. You have everybody fighting each other, and that's what started to happen. It got pretty bad there. It got really bad with the backstabbing. Guys started riding in the cars together. No sharing the hotel rooms anymore. It got a real sticky situation, and people fighting, and then you had the Dynamite Kid thing that was going on with all the ribs that he was pulling, and pretty soon there's a big fight there. So it just started to fester. And you just knew that. And I wasn't the only one that took a hike. There's a lot of guys went AWOL.
Sure. Ricky Steamboat.
They would just go away. They would just leave and not show up for 3 or 4 days. And whether they were on some kind of binge or just pissed off, I don't know, because I didn't ask them why. What happened to you? Why you didn't show up? Because I understood they were probably having problems too.
Yeah.
It's like I said about the politically correct. I could have handled it a lot differently. Than just up and letting my emotions get control of me. But I was like everyone else. I'm not going to make an excuse, but these are some factors. Fatigue, strung out from the road, 60, 70 days without a day off. Your clothes stink. You stink. And then your body's hurting. And now you got to put up with the skullduggery, let alone the physical stress. Now you got to put up with the mental stress of, am I going to be fired today?
Right.
Because there was no job security. So everyone pulled back in the shell.